Hey, boys and girls, this is Mr. Bell. Listen, we're going to talk about dividing whole numbers today. I feel like y'all know how to do that, at least the small ones, but we're talking about multi-digit whole numbers. So I got one example for you, and I'm just going to kind of show you what I do or my thought process when I'm dividing a number. All right, so my problem states that I have 2,925 divided by 15. Okay, so first thing I want to do is set up my problem. 2,925 divided by 15. All right, so here's what I do. I'm looking at this 15, and it's hard to divide by 15. So what I like to do, oops, I can't do that, can I? Is cover up one of these place values. And if I cover up one, say, because here, let me try this again. 15 won't go into 2, but 15 will go into 29. I just need to figure out how many times. Okay, so to give me an idea of how many times it'll go in, I just kind of cover up everything and say, okay, well, no, I don't cover up everything. I just cover up, dang it. There we go. If I cover up one decimal or one digit here, I cover up one digit out of the 29, okay, which is the 9. I cover up the units column, units place. And then I look at the 1 because I need to figure out how many times it goes in there, or how many times it goes in. So I say, how many times does 1 go into 2? Well, 1 goes into 2 twice. So I have a good chance that it may go in twice. I just have to kind of mess with it a little bit. So I put the 2 up here, and I go ahead and multiply 2 times 15, and I get 30. So then it's too big. It's bigger than 29. So 30 will not work. So I need to erase that. Hopefully erase that. There we go. And yeah, there we go. I got to drop back down to 1. All right, so I got 1. 1 times 15 is 15. If I subtract, I get 14. Then I got to bring this 2 down. And the same thing kind of happens. I want to know how many times 15 goes into 142. All right, this is really probably a bad example to do this with because it's going to give you the big number every time. So I'm going into 3 numbers, okay? I'm dividing by 2 numbers. And my box won't move. There it goes. All right, my box is moving. Okay, so I'm dividing by 2 numbers. So I want to say, will it go into 14? No, it's too big. So it has to go into 142. All right, so I want to find out how many times it goes into 142. So I cover up that 5, and I'm looking at that 1. All right, and then I cover up one number here, and I say, well, how many times does 1 go into 14? Well, it's going to go in 14 times, but that's too much. Okay, I can't put a 14 up here. So the maximum I can put is a 9. So we'll start with a 9 and see what happens. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 4 is 13. Okay, so that looks like that's my number because this is smaller than 142. So I can't subtract. That's probably going to stay on the box. I don't know. 5 from 12 is 7. And then 3 from 3 is 0. 1 from 1 is 0. So my remainder is 7. So I got this 5 that I need to bring down. Now I got 15 going into 75. So I want to know how many times it's going to go into 75. Okay. All right, we'll just leave it covered up. So anyway, how many times does it go into 75? Well, I'm not 100% sure. So I cover up that 5, and I just look at the 7, and I look at the 1, and I say, how many times does 1 go into 7? Well, it goes in 7 times. 7's probably going to be too big, just because of the 1. All right, but I'll go ahead and put a 7 there. 7 times 5 is 35. Carry the 3. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10, so that's just too big. All right, so I erase. Let me go ahead and erase that too. I can't. All right, so let me back it up a little bit and say 6. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. Still too big. All right, still too big. So I erase this and I go down to 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 2 is 7. Uh-oh. Looks like it divided out evenly. So my answer is 195. Now, this method, like I said, it's not for everybody, but it kind of gives you an idea of what to do. So, and what I mean by that is you look at what you can divide, or all it is a way to give you an idea where to start. Okay, it's not how to divide it. It's just a place to start. Sometimes the number is going to be too big. Sometimes it's going to be too small. Okay, when I cover up that 5 and cover up part of my division problem, okay, it's me looking at this 1, trying to figure out how many times it'll go into 7. Most of the time, if it's 1, it doesn't work as easy. But if it was 2, then I could have definitely did this a lot easier. Okay, so it's just a way to start to try to figure out how many times a number goes into another number.